Hi everyone, we're here today to speak about innovating to build customer resilience for advanced subsidiaries in Côte d'Ivoire and Ghana. Today I have with me Sarah and Juliette. Sarah, if you could just introduce yourself.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Sarah Ducouré. I'm the CEO of Advanced Côte d'Ivoire.
Hi, Sarah. And Juliette?
Hi, everybody. My name is Juliette David. I'm the CEO of Horus Development Finance.
So today we're here to discuss advanced climate strategy. We focused our strategy on 4 key pillars. First of all, how do we manage our internal impact? So that means assessing our carbon emissions internally of our operations, and also really focusing on raising awareness of staff of what climate change is and how it's going to impact our operations, so they can be climate ambassadors in the years to come. Secondly, we're aiming to manage our external impacts, so ensuring that our credits don't create any harm, but also evaluate what impact climate risks will have on our clients and our portfolio. Third, we will look to build the resilience of our clients, so specifically with non-financial services like awareness campaigns and education programs, which we'll be talking about today, and also adapt our products and services to help strengthen their resilience and help them to adapt for the future. We've done this work with the support of some of our key partners listed here, and we are able to advance on the strategy thanks to their support. So just quickly to go over what Advance has been doing to analyze climate risks. Today we'll be focusing more on what products and services we're looking at to help clients deal with these risks. So we looked at events such as floods, extreme heat, landslides, wildfires, and how they were impacting our clients. Then we looked at, in terms of the locations our clients are based in, how are they exposed to these hazards today and in the future? So first of all, in order to decide which clients we want to focus on to help them build their resilience, we had to look at how vulnerable clients are to climate hazards. We chose climate hazards that are very present in our markets. So hazards such as floods, extreme heat, water stress, wildfires, and landslides. Then we looked at, according to the locations our clients operate in, are they exposed to these hazards and to what extent today and in the future? And then we looked at each sector of the clients, looking at to what extent they were vulnerable to these hazards. So for example, do they have a lot of assets that could be vulnerable if a flood hits? Are their operations going to be majorly impacted by a landslide, for example? And how do these come together to create a physical risk score? So we were able to score our portfolio according to these scores. And on the right, you can see the 3 different subsidiaries that we looked at. So today we have been able to score the portfolio in our 3 subsidiaries, Ghana, Tunisia, and Côte d'Ivoire. And we aim to update the climate risk tool every 6 months with our portfolio. The last assessment we did in June 2025, we estimate that about 22% of our clients are vulnerable to climate change. When we look at climate change in the 2 countries we're focusing on today, so Côte d'Ivoire and Ghana, we were able to identify some key populations to concentrate on according to the climate risks that are going to occur and the sectors where we have the most clients. So in Côte d'Ivoire, climate impacts are going to increase in the years to come, especially with rising temperatures, more floods and heavy rainfall, and a changing of the seasons. This is really going to highly impact the cocoa sector, where a lot of our advanced clients are, and they will be impacted by the decrease in annual rainfall, an increase in average temperatures, and a shortening of the rainy season. Cocoa farmers are already quite aware of climate change, and some have been able to put in measures, but we found that this wasn't the case for all. So our solutions in Côte d'Ivoire will be focusing on clients in the cocoa sector. In Ghana, we also have an issue with floods and heavy rains, with Ghana having faced over 27 major floods in the past 30 years, and a high impact of floods, especially in Accra, at the country's capital, where we have a lot of clients. Several of Advance's branches have already been impacted by floods in Ghana. So in Ghana, we decided to focus on clients in urban markets where floods are likely to occur. So today, to start off our conversation with Juliette and Sarah, we'll go to Juliette, who's going to give us a bit of an overview of the client resilience challenges in Ghana.
Thank you, Katie. So first of all, a few figures on Advanced Ghana's clientele. 60% of the clients are women, 85% are micro-entrepreneurs, and most of them operate in urban areas. The average loan amount is approximately 3,000 euros. And in terms of business sectors, the most vulnerable ones were grocery stores, perishable products, and clothes and accessories. In terms of the challenges that clients are facing with regard to climate shocks, during our surveys, we found out that there was a low level of awareness among clients, although many of them were located in areas highly exposed to floods. In fact, that's only when they are personally experience a climate shock that they really become aware of the risk, and then that they start to implement measures to protect themselves. For those who had been impacted by a flood, the main impact were the stock destruction or even damages on their shops or equipments. And this led to business disruption or even closure. Indirect impacts included a reduced number of clients and also delays in the supply chain. We found out also that affected clients had to use their savings, and also many of them had to borrow from relatives to recover from a flood. They all said that they weren't able to mobilize enough resources to recover, so that getting money to restart the business is clearly their main need. And unsurprisingly, clients also have no insurance cover beyond the insurance attached to the loan.
Okay, thank you, Juliette. We can obviously see that clients in Ghana are very vulnerable to climate events and need to build their resilience to shocks. So what is Advance looking at proposing in Ghana?
Well, in Ghana, we designed a solution that combines insurance with a recovery loan. Regarding the insurance, it covers asset losses by reimbursing the remaining loan amount. We paid a specific attention on smoothing and accelerating the claim process. And on top of the loan repayment, we added an additional cash payout so as to cover immediate emergency needs of the clients affected. Regarding the restart loan, the purpose is to help the client quickly rebuild its stocks, replace equipment, or repair its shop. It may consist in a top-up loan if the previous loan has not been fully repaid by the insurance, or in a full new loan. It has flexible features with a possible grace period of up to 3 months, a reduced interest rate, and a flexible duration, so as to take into account the specific situation of the business. So the first takeaways from the pilot and the survey are that the insurance is highly appreciated by clients, with the cash payout being a key source of satisfaction. 65% of the clients are satisfied with the insurance process. Secondly, the timing is also key. Clients need to get the loan quickly after the event. We also found out that clients are quite confident in their ability to get back to business, and they therefore want to take a loan of an amount that is equivalent or even higher than the previous loan. Clients also want flexibility in terms of duration and grace periods. And we also found out that staff was very satisfied with the product. They are very happy to be able to support and retain their clients.
Great. So Advance Ghana is obviously piloting some innovative new solutions to respond in case of a climate event. Have you also been looking at supporting Advance Ghana on client awareness of climate issues?
Yes, definitely. So as mentioned earlier, the level of awareness in Ghana was found to be quite low. So it was essential to design adequate material and define adequate actions to raise clients' awareness, with key messages to inform them about the risk, and also communicate some tips with measures that clients can easily implement to protect their assets, like, for example, putting fragile items on shelves, etc. So actions included campaigns through social media, direct SMS messaging to clients in risk-prone areas during the rainy season, flyer distribution in branches, and client officers training on key awareness-raising tips to be able to provide some advice to their clients. Advanced Ghana also organized events to raise clients' awareness in markets, with some clients talking about their experience and also with a distribution of pallets to certain clients. In terms of outreach, over 20,000 clients were reached with the campaigns on social media so far.
Thanks, Julia. I think that's given a good overview of the actions Advanced Ghana is taking today with the support of Horus. Sarah, maybe you can give us an overview of what you're concentrating on in Côte d'Ivoire for cocoa farmers.
Well, thank you. In Côte d'Ivoire, agriculture represents more than 20% of GDP and is the main source of income for millions of families. It's 90% of farmers are men and the remaining female. Cocoa alone sustains over 1 million smallholders farmers. But those studies have shown that by 2050, a large portion of the cocoa belt will become far less suitable for cultivation due to rising temperature and erratic rainfalls. For farmers, what does it mean? It means unpredictable yields. They are not able to plan properly. It means higher production costs and increased vulnerability to poverty. What we notice is that traditional insurance does not meet their needs. And without proper solutions, climate change could probably erase years of progress in financial inclusion. So this is the challenge that Advanced Côte d'Ivoire decided to face head-on. And how do we respond to this? We designed a climate strategy that is based on 4 key pillars. It's raising awareness and education because resilience starts with knowledge. It is about developing innovative instruments and credit products that is tailored for climate risks. The third one is about strengthening our internal capacity by training climate experts and ambassadors within the Advanced Côte d'Ivoire staff. And the fourth pillar is about building partnerships with donors, institutions, development agencies to really co-design sustainable solutions. So what did we do concretely? We started by introducing the index assurance. So that index insurance is unlike traditional insurance, which pays a claim based on individual losses. The index insurance relies on objective data, such as rainfall levels or satellite imagery. And when the weather indicators cross a certain threshold, say there's too little rain or too much, then the payout immediately is triggered for all the insured farmers in that specific affected zone. So this makes the process faster, more transparent, and less costly for smallholder farmers.
So that's very interesting on insurance. Sarah, could you talk to us a little bit more about the offer that Advanced Côte d'Ivoire had for its cocoa farmers and how that's evolved over the past couple of years?
Okay, so basically our first campaign for cocoa farmers involved 444 farmers in 3 cooperatives with premiums representing about 5.8% of input packages. While this was innovative, the product faced some challenges. Basically, it was too complex for farmers to understand it, and there was also a limited coverage of a population that could be covered. And we had some data reliability issues as well. So we adapted the product and we designed a hybrid model, which is 80% yield insurance combined with 20% index insurance. So this way farmers are protected both against local yield loss that can happen when they have maybe a bad crop, and they are protected against extreme weather shocks as well, which are then captured by satellite data. It's a bit technical, but in this second pilot, we managed to touch about 2,347 farmers from 8 cooperatives, and it was nearly, in CFA francs, it's about 236 million that were loan covered. We also invested in farmers' sensitization because, as I said, education is very important. for them to be able to understand those climate risks and know how to mitigate them. So we trained about 1,000 farmers throughout 55 sessions in different zones across the main rural areas where we are located and where we have our population of farmers.
Great. And yeah, so I guess like Advanced Ghana, the idea is that awareness raising is key to ensure that clients are also aware of what risks are going to impact them and also the advantages of some of the product offerings that Advanced may have.
Yes, indeed. So what we can share is really that what we've learned from that is the clients really welcome those protection tools because they were simple for them to understand, they were transparent, and they were affordable as well. We managed to have a competitive price because of those partnerships we had. What we learned as well is that education is important. The farmers who understand those risks were more likely to adopt the solutions. So of course there was a bit of resistance in the beginning, but eventually it becomes much easier to understand because of those awareness campaigns. And the third one is also that partnerships really was key for us. We could not have done it without the support of our partners. So either from the insurance costs that were covered by some of them, and also the facilities for the trainings. That really that collaboration is what makes the scaling possible. So far our pilots, those 2 pilots, have already protected, as I said, 1,000 farmers, and it has also secured millions in agricultural loans, which would have been really affected by the climate shocks.
Okay, great. Well, thanks so much, Sarah and Juliette, for sharing your experiences with the Advanced subsidiaries. What I take out from this session is that, first of all, when we're designing climate resilience products, we need to understand what clients are experiencing in terms of climate risks and what are their main issues in terms of adaptation and resilience. Second of all, that products need to be flexible and that we need to test and learn, especially through pilots, to see which features are most important for clients and which will attract them the most or help them most to adapt. Also, that awareness raising is really key for clients. So we can't give climate products without working on the client awareness side. So ensuring that clients are aware of what risks are going to impact them and also what advantages the products will have for them. And I also see that it's really key to engage field staff. So making sure that staff are trained and aware of why we're working on climate resilience and how the products can benefit their clients. Well, thanks so much, Sarah Ducouré from Advanced Côte d'Ivoire and Juliette David from Horus for sharing your experiences today.
Well, thank you and goodbye. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Indeed. Thank you so much. It's really been a pleasure to share this time with you and share also what we've been doing on building resilience for our farmers. Thank you so much.